on the track at the moment for their formation lap. It is a glorious sunny afternoon. It is the middle of winter, would you believe, in the United Arab Emirates, and we're expecting a top temperature of around 27 degrees Celsius here this afternoon, while most of Northern Europe suffers under snow. No chance of that here this afternoon. My name is Ian Sylvester and I am delighted to be joined by Aditya Patel, Vice Champion of Asia in the Blancpain GT Series of 2017. He almost picked up that title. He lost it by a single point. He is a renowned racing expert. And Aditya, I'm delighted to have you beside me. I'm really looking forward to this. This race one this afternoon will be absolutely fantastic.
Thank you, Ian. I'm really looking forward to it as well. Qualifying was fantastic to watch. We had two qualifying sessions, one for race 1, one for race 3. Jehan, Formula 2 driver and Renault F1 driver to be, hopefully in the future, topped qualifying 1, and he stamped his authority. But don't forget Pierre-Louis Chauvet. He was so close. He was less than half a tenth off Jehan in qualifying. So it's going to be a really close race. We've got the likes of Roy Nissany and Jehan Daruvala right behind them as well. So the top 4 has 3 Formula 2 drivers.
With Formula 1 experience for the pole sitter Guan Yu Zhou. You just mentioned Roy Nissany just before we came on air. He has been announced as Marcus Armstrong's teammate in FIA Formula 2 with the DAMS Grand Prix team. As you look at Nicola Marinangeli, car 77, one of 2 Italians in the field here this afternoon. A fantastic lineup. We've got drivers from the world of Formula 4, Formula 3, Formula 2, and drivers with Formula 1 experience, including the pole sitter, the Shanghai superstar Guan Yu Zhou, who did take pole position with a 134.430 on his very final flying lap of qualifying. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, you will see PLC in car 3 in just a moment. He will start grid 2. Actually took pole position for the second race for qualifying 2 earlier this morning. It was absolutely frantic. He does start on the outside of the front row. As we mentioned, 23 cars on the circuit to race here this afternoon for the Formula 3 Asian Championship, representing 18 different nations as the cars make their way around onto the grid. Fantastic lineup, of course. They are using the Alfa Romeo turbocharged powered Tartas T318 car. A glorious afternoon, Dubai Autodrome here in the United Arab Emirates. From here we go to Yas Marina Formula 1 Grand Prix circuit in just a few days' time. Yes, we did crisscross the Asian continent in the last few seasons, but for the 4th running of the Asian F3 Championship, we are based exclusively in our host nation, the United Arab Emirates. We will go through the grid for you in a few moments as the cars make their way down onto the grid. And we will try and catch up with a few drivers in just a moment, if they have a moment to lift the visor and speak to us. This is Pierre-Louis Chauvet. The Travel Planet Pinnacle Motorsport car raced to 5th in the Formula Regional European Championship last year, including that stunning victory at Barcelona in Spain. Starts out of grid 2. Alongside the Shanghai superstar Guan Yu Zhou, who is in pole position for the Abu Dhabi racing team by the Prema Power team. The Alpine logo on his race suit, having recently replaced Renault, of course. We'll try and catch up with the pole sitter in just a moment. As you look at one of the 2 Mumbai Falcon team entries, Jehan Daruvala from Mumbai in India, and his teammate Kush Maini, who starts out of grid 8. Jehan out of grid 4. Representing the team from Mumbai, backed by none other than India's World Cup cricket captain from 1983, the great Kapil Dev. I know that puts a smile on the face of my co-commentator Aditya Patel.
Yeah, I mean, growing up in India, cricket was everyday. It was an everyday game. We used to play cricket in the apartment, or we used to play what we call, or what the world knows as gully cricket. And these were our superstars. So even if you were a race driver, at the end of the day, you'd want to get back home and watch a cricket match. And last year we had the opportunity to interact with Kapil Dev when the team was being put together. And I've got to say, he's a very humble person for all his achievements.
And he is the patron of the Mumbai Falcons team with two drivers, Jehan Daruvala and Kush Maini, who start on grids 4 and 8 respectively. Starting out at pole position, Guan Yu Zhou in car 33. What a tremendous sight this is. We'll try and go down to the grid and catch a couple of drivers if they can take a moment to speak with us for round 1 of the Formula 3 Asian Championship here at the Dubai Autodrome.
To talk you through some of the stars of the show ahead of the first race of the Asian Formula 3 Championship. And it is going to be a very tight one with 45 thousandths of a second separating the top 2 cars from qualifying. It really is going to be exciting. Let's go and have a look and see the 2 men on the front end of the starting grid. First of all, Guan Yu Zhou lining up in position from pole. This could be a very decent opportunity and a solid chance for him to open his account in a victorious fashion. Guan Yu, great to see you here. Pole position once again. Is this going to be the first of many wins for you, perhaps? Can we get the job done?
Well, that's the plan. That's the plan. So long race ahead. We don't know what the decoration going to be like, but looking good in the practice. So hopefully bring it home.
And of course, it was so close between you and Chauvet in qualifying. Just where can you find the advantage to overhaul him through the race?
Yeah, I mean, the race pace, I think we are quite strong. Even though qualify, I think we're a little bit close. Could be a little bit more ahead. We had some traffic. It was quite messy out there. But yeah, all good, and try to put everything together, no mistake in the race, and just eyes forward.
Fantastic. We wish you all the best of luck. Good luck. So Guan Yu Zhou very much on the pole position and looking for a strong start to the season. But this man alongside him, Monsieur Chauvet, has been rapid all the way through the weekend, and he's definitely going to be one to challenge his way forward for the front end of the field. Pierre-Louis, great to see you on the front row of the grid. Things very, very tight in between you and Guan Yu in qualifying. Can you beat him to the first corner?
Yeah, I will try for sure. That's my goal. So in quali it was really tight. Then in quali 2 I managed to do the pole, and now I will focus on my start, and let's see now what will happen.
Now, you announced recently you're going to be in the FIA F3 Championship this year. Just how important as a confidence boost is this weekend going to be to start the ball rolling for 2021?
Yeah, for sure. Like P1, P3 and P4 are F2 drivers and F2 winners. So for sure it's giving me some confidence for the future, and yeah, I'm happy. Now I need to focus on my job.
Bonne chance, mon ami. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
So Pierre-Louis Chauvet very much on the position. Now we're going to try and grab up a couple of the other drivers on the second row of the starting grid. Another man with F1 experience, Roy Nizani from Israel, looking very, very strong from 3rd position on the starting grid. He could mug both of these guys off the line. Roy, great to see you back in Asian F3 again, and good to see that you're right up at the sharp end. Just what can we do in race 1?
Good question. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. Still, I think everyone is studying what's going on with the new tires, with this car, and it's going to be an interesting first race for sure.
And of course it's a very competitive field, drivers like yourself with F2 experience, a lot of good F3 drivers here, so I guess you're not taking anything for granted.
Of course not, never. It's a race as always, and we keep our head down, focusing, doing our best.
Fantastic. Good luck, Roy. Have a great race.
Thank you.
From 3rd position on the grid, he's obviously going to have a strong one. I think we've just got time to quickly run in with Jehan Daruvala of the Mumbai Falcons. This is going to be a fascinating opportunity for him as he goes off the 2nd row of the grid. We'll quickly rush in and grab a quick word if we can with Jehan. I'm not sure we're going to get the chance, actually. I think this is the wrong moment. They're going to fire it up. We will try and grab him at the end of the race. Of course, if we do talk to him at the end, that's because he's in the top 3. Ian and Aditya, over to you.
Thank you, Jake. Catching up with a few of the drivers at the front row, or the front few rows of the grid. Just incidentally, Roy Nizani, as we mentioned just before the race start, announced as Marcus Armstrong's teammate in the FIA Formula 2 Championship for 2021. But first, we race the F3 Asian Championship. It is a tremendous atmosphere. We will go through the grid for you. What a sight this is, leading almost back to turn 11, the final corner, which sits below the Park Inn Radisson Hotel here in Dubai, the hotel built around the final corner of the circuit here at Motor City. So Guan Yu Zhou On pole position to the right of your screen, PLC in car 3 out of grid 2, the Travel Planet Pinnacle Motorsport entry. Jehan Daruvala, who we didn't get a chance to speak to. We hope to catch up with him throughout the weekend. In fact, I'm sure we will. He's been in brilliant form all weekend. Starting out of grid 4 alongside Roy Nissany. Isaac Hadja, wow, the 16-year-old Parisian driver. Out of grid 5, 23 drivers, 18 nations, some brilliant teams, some amazing talent. This is the first major open wheel race in the Northern Hemisphere, with deference to our friends down under. Of course, the New Zealand Grand Prix taking place a week ago, and Shane van Gisbergen taking that victory. And of course, the S5000 V8 powered monsters having their first run of the 2021 series. That was down at Simmons Place in Tasmania. But of course, this Eurocentric team, let's be honest, it is an Asian championship. We are in the United Arab Emirates, but so much European experience in the Northern Hemisphere. This is where the series starts. Aditya, this will be an absolutely dynamite race.
Absolutely. We've got a great mix of drivers. If you look down the grid, we've got drivers who've raced Formula 2 for not one, not two, maybe more years. We've got drivers who not so long ago were sitting in go-karts, and actually drivers just coming out of Formula 4. So there's a huge mix of experience, and what's great is they're actually mixed up in the grid as well. You've got drivers, you've got the likes of Isaac Hadjar, he's 16 years old. Formula 4 last year, karts not so long before that, fighting with guys like Jehan Daruvala, Roy Nissany. And then again, you've got guys who've been in Formula 3 for a while. Kush Maini, BRDC last year, BRDC Formula 3. Ayumu Iwasa, also reasonable amount of experience. Rish Ushijima. So we've got a great mix of experience on the grid. 23 cars, Ian. It's going to give us a great race to watch. What do you think?
Absolutely, and if it was not for the logistical challenges that we face in this new decade, there would have been a couple more as well. But wow, 23 cars on the grid. What a tremendous atmosphere here in Dubai. We welcome you wherever you are watching our live coverage all around the world to round 1 of the Asian Formula 3 Championship. Race 1 of 3 here this weekend. The cars about to set off on their formation lap. It is a 30-minute plus 1 lap race. Chauvet to the left of your screen and Zhao to the right on the clean side of the circuit. We'll go through the grid for you in just a moment before we race. For the first time in 2021, incidentally, Black Arts, the reigning champions. What a sight this is. Of course, they took the title last year with Joey Alders. They're back in force this weekend as well. Black Arts Racing. As the 10-second board to the top left of your screen goes up, and we wait for the cars to set off on their formation lap here at the international circuit. That is the Dubai Autodrome, so not the full layout. We'll save that for later in the series. The 4.3 kilometre circuit as the green flag flies. And we'll set off on the formation lap, and we'll take a look at the grid for you. Guan Yu Zhou and PLC on the front row of the grid. The Chinese driver and the young Frenchman for Pinnacle Motorsports. Second row of the grid, Roy Nissany and Jehan Daruvala for the Mumbai Falcons. Roy Williams, Formula 1 test driver, starts out of grid 3 for Hi-Tech. And Daruvala for the Mumbai Falcons team. Third row of the grid is the young 16-year-old. Wow, for Evans Grand Prix, Isaac Hadjar alongside the driver with more than 150,000 followers on Instagram, courtesy of his role in the world's fastest gamer. That is from Istanbul, Turkey, Cem Bokulbati. Dynamite Dino and Kush Maini on the next row of the grid. Then we go back to the Czech Roman Stanek and the Red Bull Junior Ayumu Iwasa from Osaka in Japan, the reigning French Formula 4 champion for Hi-Tech Grand Prix. Roberto Faria, can we say it for the first time in 2021? Oh, Menino do Brasil, the boy from Brazil, starts out of 11 alongside Rish Ushijima, Patrick Pasma, Alessio Daleda, Lorenzo Fluzza from Mallorca in the middle of the Mediterranean, Rafa Gomez, Nicola Marinangeli, Zdenek Chovanec. And we go back to the 10th row of the grid from London in England for Evans Grand Prix, Casper Stevenson, and the third generation racer, Alexandre Badignon. 11th row of the grid, Amna Al-Kabaisi for the Abu Dhabi racing team, alongside Irina Sidorkova from Russia and Matthias Luton, who hit the wall in qualifying. Driver from Hamburg in Germany. Starts on the final row of the grid. The tension, wow, you could cut it with a knife. A fabulous atmosphere as we get ready to race for the first time this weekend in one of the most amazing cities in the world, as the rest of the Western world decides how they can lock us up in our own homes for another week or so. Here, the Emirates is open for business. United Arab Emirates hosts on the 2021 Formula 3 Asian Championship. For the first time in an all-new season, an all-new year, a new decade, we get ready to race the F3 Championship. You are looking at Guan Yu Zhou from the right of your screen. Pierre-Louis Chauvet will launch from the left on the dirty side of the track. This is Ian Silvestrin with you in commentary, joined by Aditya Patel, ready for the start of race 1 here in Dubai. Aditya, your pick down into turn 1.
Roy Nissany? I think Roy's going to have a good start. I don't know, it's just gut feeling, but all I know is right now the average heart rate down the pit lane is probably at 180 beats per minute.
At least, as the green flag flies from the back of the grid. For the first time in 2021, we race! Chauvet has Daruvala all over the back of him as Zhou just goes hard and straight down into turn 1. Roy Nissany, well picked by my co-commentator Aditya Patel, rockets up into position 2. Daruvala around the outside, but the Shanghai superstar for the Prema Power Team Abu Dhabi Racing, Guan Yu Zhou, has got the race lead for the first time in an all-new season. You're looking at Patrick Pasma in car 4. 4 times a race winner in the FIA Formula Regional European Championship with KIC Motorsport in 2020. Did not get the best run in qualifying, but Patrick on the charge as Nissany locks up the brakes big time on the opening lap of the race. So the field settled down. It is a clean start, just as our screen goes blank. There's Nissany into second place. Good start by Guan Yu Zhou. Car 33 for the Prema Power Team. Aditya, you picked it. Roy Nissany from the second row of the grid, around the outside of Chauvet, up into second place. Fabulous start by the driver from Tel Aviv in Israel.
Yeah, I think Roy made good use of the slipstream from Guan Yu Zhou's car down the long straight going into turn 1. Obviously, Chauvet had the trouble getting off the line on this dusty surface. He's probably had a little bit more slipstream than he'd like. Looks like we're right there. But anyway, the guys in front just about splitting away from 5th, 6th onward.
So let's check the order as they come across the line for the first time. It is Guan Yu Zhou, Roy Nissany, Jehan Daruvala, PLC in car 3 back in P4. Then we've got Chambok Albasi from Turkey up into P5, having to defend from Beganovic, Iwasa and Patrick up into P8. Ayumi Iwasa, the Red Bull Junior, making a good start as we've got one of the Mumbai Falcons into pit lane. It's Kush Maini in car 28. Pulls into the box with a problem. The team go to work. We'll try and bring you a shot of that in a moment. But Kush Maini has gone into pit lane. Incidentally, Zdenek Chovanec did not make the start as Zhu continues to lead. Look at them spread eagle down the back straight. 2, 3, even 4 wide. The dust, the sand here in the Emirates makes breaking down the inside absolutely treacherous. Guan Yu Zhou on your screen in position 1, doing everything right from pole position. The Prema Power Team Abu Dhabi racing outfit, a class act all weekend. He has been the driver to beat consistently throughout practice. As another driver makes their way into pit lane, it is Rafa Villagomez from Leon in central Mexico, who has pitted with what looks to be damage to the front right.
It looks like there's been some contact on lap 1. I think Kush Maini may have made contact with Villa Gomez. They're both in the pit now, but Kush seems to be heading back out on track. But there's a lot going on in the midfield here. I think with the 2 long straights, it gives drivers an opportunity to really stay close and take good opportunity of the slipstream available to them. But once again, It's Chem in 5th place, who's just not able to close the gap to Chauvet in 4th.
Chambokal Basi, who shot to fame courtesy of his exploits in the world's fastest gamer. He's up into position 5. Patrick Pasma now up into 7th place is the Finn. As you look at Matthias Luton from Hamburg in Germany, who's back on track after that incident in qualifying this morning. I think you're right, Aditya. I think we did have carnage further back in the pack as we focused on the battle for position 1. Incidentally, Jehan Daruvala, fastest lap of the race a few moments ago, a 1:36.629, 4/10 of a second, faster than the race leader. Your countryman, Jehan Daruvala, race winner in FIA Formula 2, on the charge in 3rd place.
Well, you've got 3 Formula 2 drivers in the top 3, and you can see Jehan is slowly inching in on Roy Nissany, who's actually, if I'm not mistaken, he's catching Guanyu Zhou just a little bit. He caught him 2/10 in the first sector, and you can see visibly that he is catching Zhou a little bit. It's turning out to be an exciting race between the top 3 Formula 2 drivers who are now in a Formula 3 car.
Exactly, the early stages, lap 3 of race 1 here in Dubai. And we've got FIA F2 drivers, 1, 2, 3. Then Pierre-Louis Chauvet in position 4. Indeed, Roy Nissany lights up the timing screen, goes purple. And Dynamite Dino in position 6. There is the young Swede. Comes onto the straight, will try and get the toe from Chambokal Basi. The young Turk leads the Super Swede, position 5 and 6. Daruvala gets the toe from Roy Nissany, just under 260 k's an hour down into turn 1. The Mumbai Falcons entry closing in on the back of Roy Nissany for Team High-Tech. This world-class outfit from Oliver Oakes racing in FIA, F3 and F2, race winners in those series. They're looking good for 2021, starting their racing series here in the United Arab Emirates. Their driver from just the other side of this region, from Tel Aviv in the Holy Land of Israel, Roy Nissany. 2 appearances in free practice 1 for the Williams Grand Prix team in 2020 with F1 experience. The drivers who run 1 and 2, Pierre-Louis Chauvet in 4th place. He'll be disappointed as he sits back in 4th. Just settles down, and you just got a glimpse of Beganovic. Dynamite Dino catching Chambokal Basi. Ayumu Iwasa, Patrick Pasma, Roman Stanek, and Reese Ushijima, the American-born Japanese driver on a British license, rounds out the top 10. So Roy Nissany in 2nd place. He was catching Guanyu. Of course, we are using the GT Control tyres. Tyre management absolutely crucial here on this abrasive circuit on a warm afternoon. Well, a warm afternoon if you're British. About 28 degrees here this afternoon. Guanyu Zhou will check the gap. Last time round, 0.9 of a second. 1.3. Now Guanyu Zhou is pulling away, and your man Jehan Daruvala is catching the Israeli Roy Nissany.
It's a long race, Ian, and like you just mentioned, the temperatures are 28 degrees. The track temperature is obviously a bit higher than that. It's all down to how well the drivers can preserve their tires till later on in the race, because tire degradation is a thing, and especially with the loose sand on this surface, the cars tend to move around considerably a bit more than they do in Europe. So they have got to be careful early on in the race. It's 30 minutes, no pit stops, and as they go on, they've got to make sure they've got some tires in hand for the last 3-4 laps of this race.
The GT tyres will work later on in the race. We saw that in qualifying when Guanyu Zhou, at the very end of the session of qualifying 1, took pole position. I think it was his 7th or 8th lap. So the tyres will work long into the race as Chauvet tries to hunt down Daruvala. Just behind him, Chambokal Basi, Dino Beganovic and Ayumi Iwasa. In 5, 6 and 7 having a fabulous fight, and Patrick Pasma, the Finn, trying to drag himself into that battle. Chauvet goes so deep under brakes, almost runs into the back of Jehan. There's this battle being led by Chambokal Basi as we go down to the pits. One of the Black Arts racing cars in pit lane. They've not had the best start. It's Denik Chauvenac and Rafa Villagomez in pit lane at the moment. There's Iwasu, the reigning French Formula 4 champion, the Honda-backed junior driver from Osaka in Japan, gets the toe from Beganovic for 6th place to the left of your screen. You saw the Blackguards car in the pits as he tries to duck out of the slipstream. Bogdanovic, Bokulbashi, that'll give the Turk a little bit of breathing space. And speaking of which, the gap between the most experienced driver in the field, the pole sitter, the race leader, Guan Yu Zhou, back to Roy Nissany, is now out to 1.8 seconds. Nissany second, Daruvala under attack from Pierre-Louis Chauvet, who goes purple in the first sector of this lap. PLC on the charge in the Travel Planet Car 3 for Pinnacle Motorsport.
Yeah, Chauvet has definitely turned it up a notch in the last couple of laps, and he is reeling Jehan in really, really quickly. Especially for him, he's raced last year in the Euro Formula Open, and to be up against these three Formula 2 drivers in front of him, I'm sure it gives him that little extra bit of charge to push to try and get onto that podium. They have broken away from the cars behind, which is led by Cem Bolokbasi. But again, like I said, Ian, there's 20 minutes to go in this race. There's only 10 minutes up. Anything can happen. And again, it all comes down to experience, and the guys in the top three are the most experienced drivers on the grid.
They are indeed, but qualifying gave the impression that we would have more variety. Indeed, they are world-class drivers, two race winners in Formula 2 inside the top three. And Bokulbashi has to defend now from Bogdanovic, Iwasa, Pasma, Stanek, and Reese Ushijima. Roberto Faria from Brazil in car 13 for Team High-Tech, just outside the top 10 ahead of Marinangeli and Deleda, the two Italians, 13th and 14th. Lorenzo Fluzza from Mallorca in the middle of the Mediterranean for Blackguards Racing. His two teammates in the pits, but Lorenzo on debut in Formula 3 is in 15th place.
Somebody I'd like to mention is Isaac Hadjar. I've actually turned out to be a huge fan of him this weekend. He has really impressed, and he seems to have lost a few places. He started 5th, he's running 10th now, but it looks like he is slowly making his way up. I'd like to follow him. And you know, youngsters like this, to have the opportunity to drive in a championship like this, to prove themselves, especially at times like this. We saw how tough last year was for everybody. A lot of drivers lost out on the track time that they would have loved to have, but they're all jumping back into the Asian F3 series, which is growing every year, and this is the biggest they've had so far. They've never had 23 cars on the grid. They've literally doubled since their last championship, and the quality of drivers is unparalleled right now.
It is a fantastic field, and speaking of past seasons, David Schumacher joins our coverage. Great to have you watching, Dave. Trust you're enjoying it. I know you wish you would be out here as you watch the leaders go through. There's Bokulbashi, Bogdanovic, Iwasa coming onto the straight. Look at the battle for second, third, fourth, and then a gap back to the young Turk who leads the super sweet jam. Bokulbashi under attack. For position 5, Guan Yu Zhou disappears down into turn 1. The gap now 3 seconds as he goes 1:36.129. The superstar from Shanghai on the charge here this afternoon from pole position, looking good to take race 1, although we have only passed 1/3 race distance. There's Daruvala on the back of Nissany. Pierre-Louis Chauvet will be absolutely furious with himself. He wanted to lead down into turn number 1. He will start from pole position for race 2. He's one step off the podium, but he's got two world-class drivers right in front of him. First in line for the Mumbai Falcons, the driver from Mumbai in the subcontinent, Jehan Daruvala, and Roy Nissany for Team High-Tech in second place.
We just saw a little lock-up there from Jehan. He is slowly reeling in Roy Nissany. Roy seems to have had a rather slow lap on the last lap, but that's helped Jehan reel him in. But it seems like every time they get close to the car in front, they start to get trouble with grip. We just saw Jehan lock up into the hairpin. Chauvet isn't really able to stay close to Jehan for too long, and it's probably affecting the tires, probably getting the tires tire temperature too high. Oh, did we just see Dino make a move on Cem Bolokbasi there?
Bogdanovic and Bokulbashi, this battle continues, and Dynamite Dino looks as though he's gone through to take position 5. They come across the line. The order is Guan Yu Zhou, Roy Nissany, Jehan Daruvala, Pierre-Louis Chauvet, Dynamite up into 5th place. The young Turk, Bokulbashi, back to 6th, and it's Iwasa, Pasma, Stanek, Isaac Hadjar. Let's also give some credit to young Amna Al-Kabasi from the back of the grid. She's in 16th place. about to appear on your screen. And she's now closing in on the back of the young Spaniard Lorenzo Flutza on debut in Formula 3. She's got by the more experienced Alexandre Badignon, car 25, Matthias Luton, Casper Stevenson, Irina Sidorkova from Russia, the young 17-year-old, and Kush Maini, who has just set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:36 dead, although he is in last position after pitting on the opening lap of the race. Rafa Villagomez is out, and his Black Arts Racing teammate Zdenek Chovanec did not make the start. So coming up to half race distance, race 1, the 2021 Formula 3 Asian Championship here at the incredible Dubai Autodrome. The order is Guan Yuzhou from China for the Abu Dhabi racing team by Prema, Roy Nissani for Team High-Tech in P2, and Jehan Daruvala for the Mumbai Falcons in 3rd place.
Yeah, the first 4 seem to have built that gap over to Dino Beganovic, but Dynamite Dino, like you said, he has it in him to start reeling them in. He's been super quick right through practice, right through qualifying. In fact, for the next race, I think he starts 3rd. He's found himself in the mix of some top drivers. Young kid, just all of 17 years old.
Just 17, only a few days ago.
Only a few days ago, and like you said, he not too long ago when he was sitting in a go-kart.
6 months ago. How did you say it? How did you pronounce his name?
Dynamite Dino.
There we go, bit of emphasis.
Dynamite Dino.
Dynamite Dino, you just got a glimpse of car 16. Well done, did you? Yeah, in fact, he was racing in WSK International Kart Racing for the Ward Racing team aboard a Vortex-powered Tony kart not more than 6 months ago. Finished 3rd in the Italian F4 Championship, powered by Arbath. Of course, that was presented by WSK Promotion as well. On his debut in Formula 3, he's in position 5, and also on debut in F3, it's the young Japanese driver Iwasa, the Red Bull High-Tech Junior in P6. There he is coming onto your screen. Beganovic driving superbly. Car 16 from Linköping in Sverige. Up into 5th place, of course. Also credit to his driver coach, the 1998 British Touring Car Champion, Rickard Rydell. With him here, as ever this weekend, watching on nervously from pit lane. Young Dino in position 5, as you look at the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th between Nissani, Daruvala and Chauvet. Beganovic goes through. Iwasa, Bolekbashi back to 7th, being caught by Patrick Pasma. Tries the outside of the Turk. Roman Stanek in P9, and Isaac Hadja, the young 16-year-old from Paris in France, rounds out the 10. The gap between Guan Yuzhou and Roy Nissani, 3.5 seconds as he goes down through the gearbox. Car 33 into turn 1, pulling away from the rest of the field. Half race distance this. Well, should we be surprised? He is the most experienced driver in the field. Renault Formula 1 test driver, make that Alpine Formula 1 test driver. Incidentally, he has already updated the Alpine logos on his suit, and he's pulling away. He's got the lead from Nissani, Daruvala and Chauvet in the background.
Indeed, Joe is absolutely stamping his authority on this field. I think we see right behind him, Daruvala is getting a little bit frustrated behind Roy Nissani. He's trying to show his nose every now and then. We were just following in Evans' car there.
That was Irina Sidorkova doing a good job for Evans Grand Prix. The young Russian in 20th place, still circulating.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. We've got 2 female drivers on this grid. We've got a driver who's also a gamer, and we've got a bunch of Formula 2 drivers. I'm just absolutely impressed by the diversity, by the variation on this grid, by drivers coming from so many different countries, 18 different nationalities, so many different forms of motorsport, all together on one grid, competing against each other and giving us a fabulous race here. Looking at the top 3, the 2nd, 3rd and 4th, there's nothing between them.
An absolutely brilliant race as you watch Roy Nissani come down through turn 11, which sits below the Park Inn Radisson Hotel. Chauvet gets the toe off the Indian as they come down the straight. Beganovic in the background trying to catch them, and as they fight, the young Super Swede will, as Daruvala checks his mirrors, darts right and blocks off Chauvet. That gives Nissani a bit of breathing space. Lock up from Chauvet in position 4. Will try and carry the momentum offline. Of course, this track literally built in the desert. Here in Motor City in the United Arab Emirates, there is sand blowing in on a daily basis. You cannot go offline for lack of losing severe grip. Chauvet almost did it. Does not get by the Indian this time, and Nissany defends from the both of them. Dino is catching them. We'll check the time of the young Swede. 1:36.3. He is half a second faster than the drivers on your screen, running 2, 3 and 4. Nissany, Daruvala, Chauvet and Dynamite is coming.
Dynamite Dino, like you said, that youngster is so impressive.
Getting better at it.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better at Dynamite Dino. Super impressive. I mean, when I saw him the first time, I thought he's a little karting kid who's here to watch his elder brother race. And now we're watching him actually reel in a few Formula 2 drivers. So great to watch Dynamite Dino up the field. I'd love to see Isaac Hadja there tomorrow. But talking about the guys in second, third and fourth, we see Nissany always just pull that gap in the last sector, and then Jehan pulls it back in sector 1. But there's a little bit of yo-yoing. We're back with Chauvet, who's trying to make a move again down the straight. So Chauvet is really strong in the last sector compared to Jehan, which means Jehan's always got to turn into the first corner with his eyes in the mirror.
Chauvet does get the toe. Will he dive down the inside? Not this time. Again, locks up the front right, goes wide. And Jehan gets a breathing space just for a few moments. And again, Roy Nissany pulls clear. Beganovic is definitely catching this battle for second, third and fourth. The gap from Guan Yu Zhou back to Roy Nissany is now over 4 seconds. There is Beganovic. Dino is catching the leaders. Could Dino stand on the podium, which we won't have incidentally, you know the reasons why. Could he make it up onto the virtual podium in his debut in Formula 3?
He is catching them really, really fast. We still have just under 10 minutes to go in this race. I think that would give him about 4 laps to give these guys a little bit of a run for their money. But I think Dino will catch them. I think Dino can do it. He seems to be so good with his tires, and he's reeling them in really, really quickly.
He has caught them. He took 0.8 of a second out of Chauvet last time round. The battle for second, third, fourth is now between second, third, fourth and fifth. Beganovic is right there. Nissany puts the high-tech car in the middle of the circuit. There's Beganovic going through. Good drive also from Iwasa. Red Bull Junior in 6th place. The reigning French Formula 4 champion from 2020. The Honda-backed Junior from Osaka, and now Nissany has to check the mirrors. Daruvala gets the toe off the high-tech car, 14 in second place. Beganovic is catching the both of them, all 3 of them in fact. Daruvala dives down the inside, there is no space. Chauvet does not lock up the brakes. Guan Yu Zhou pulls away from this battle for second, third and fourth. Race 1 of the 2021 Asian Formula 3 Championship here in Dubai.
Turn 1 is not really an easy corner to make a move. We saw Jehan trying to do it there. We saw Chauvet try to do it earlier as well. But now coming down to the hairpin, which is turn 5, this is where you could have a great opportunity. I think we're going to see Jehan. No, he tried, didn't he?
He thought about it and he's gone in very deep. Chauvet, will he try and put it down the inside? Beganovic is now right there. Iwasa is not a long way back as well, and he is lapping also faster than the drivers second, third, fourth. Jehan is getting frustrated. The Williams Formula 1 test driver in second place. The Renault Formula 1 test driver make that Alpine in the race lead. Jehan Daruvala for the Mumbai Falcons Formula 2 race winner. And Pierre-Louis Chauvet directly from the FIA Formula Regional European F3 Championship in 2020 in 4th place. Dino Beganovic 6 months ago racing in WSK International Kart Racing on debut in Formula 3 is catching them. Beganovic in P5 on the charge. We have got just over 7 minutes remaining of the opening round of the 2021 Asian Formula 3 Championship.
Dino's right there.
He's caught them.
I thought he's going to take 3 laps to do it, but he's there. He did it in 1 lap. That's super impressive. And with these guys fighting it out against each other, it's just making it a whole lot easier for Dino to get them. And I'm sure Dino's probably got tires that could help him in the end, because Jehan and Chauvet, don't forget, they're in dirty air, and that makes it not so easy for the tires to give them what they need in the end.
Guan Yu Zhou on his way to victory from pole position. There's Iwasa in the background. Roy Nissany just puts the high-tech car in the middle of the circuit. so hard to pass. These Tartas T318 cars, powered by the turbocharged Auto Technica tuned Alfa Romeo engine, 1.75 litre capacity, of course, with GT tyres. So putting out around about 270 horsepower. The Tartas T318 chassis, as used in Formula Regional around the world. And Gianfranco De Bella's telling us from Tartas there are now more than 100 of these race cars in existence in various championships around the world, including the FIA Formula Regional European Championship, powered by Alpine for 2021, of course the W Series, and of course here in the Formula 3 Asian Championship. Down into the park in Radisson Hotel, turn 11 one more time. Roy Nissany holding on for dear life in second place. This time Daruvala just too far back to get the tow. There is Beganovic in P5. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Incidentally, Kush Maini, after that pit stop, is down in 21st place, but has still set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:36 dead. Lapping quicker than anybody here this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Kush is an incredibly talented driver. It's just so unfortunate that he had that incident on the first lap. He was really looking forward to making some places up in the race, but I guess now he's just got to make it all up in race 2. But back with these guys, I don't know, Jehan's just not able to get close enough to Roy Nissany. Nissany doesn't even need to defend, and that's just helping Nissany. It just makes it look easy for him, doesn't it?
He's just, if you watch closely, he's just edging off the racing line ever so slightly, just to put that seed of doubt in Daruvala's mind. If he goes down the inside, well, he has to go by car 14 of the high-tech team. So he just puts the doubt in to think, well, should I make the move? Should I try? And so far, he's just sat there for the remaining 25, or the preceding 25 minutes. 5 remaining. Beganovic has caught, but they are incredibly difficult to pass.
Well, we may just see Jehan do a Danny Rick.
I would say nothing to lose, but this is the first round of this 15-round series, and let's not forget there are 18 Formula 1 Super License points up for grabs. It looks as though Guan Yu Zhou, as Roy Nissany just runs over the ripple strip, coming onto the straight. That gives hope. That gives confidence to Daruvala. Just behind, 18 Formula 1 Super License points to the winner of the 2021 Formula 3 Asian Championship. Nice line that time down through turns 1 and 2 by Roy Nissany for Team High Tech. Daruvala, Chauvet running wide. He'll be frustrated in 4th place, and Beganovic, great drive thus far. On debut in Formula 3 in position 5. Iwasa, Boligbashi, Hadges up to 8th, Passman 9, and Reese Ushujima, the second Japanese driver, inside the top 10. Chauvet has a look down the inside of the Indian. Tucks back in behind the Mumbai Falcons entry car number 19. Beganovic, half an opportunity to make the move on PLC in car 3, who runs in 4th place. The dying stages of race 1 here at Dubai as Roy Nissany locks up the front right on the high-tech 14 car, still in 2nd place. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th on your screen. Nissany from Israel, Daruvala from India, Pierre-Louis Chauvet from the south of France, and Dino Beganovic from Sweden in 5th place. The Shanghai superstar Guan Yu Zhou in the lead, 6.2 seconds ahead of this battle for the final steps of what will be a virtual podium this afternoon. Down the hill into turn 11, Nissany in the middle of the circuit. Daruvala will try and get the toe. Chauvet does likewise. There's Beganovic in the background. They come across the line to start lap 18. Iwasa, what a drive by the young Japanese pilot from Osaka. Daruvala, will he try and make the move down into turn 1? Not this time. Nissany, Daruvala, Chauvet, and Beganovic. Nissany runs wide. Guan Yu Zhou, the gap is almost 7 seconds. Nissany now struggling for grip on this lap 18 of race 1 here this afternoon. Here's an opportunity. Down into the far hairpin for Daruvala, for Team Mumbai Falcons. So many people back in his home nation watching this opening race, including the team patron of the Mumbai Falcons, the 1983 Cricket World Cup captain, your man Aditya, the great Kapil Dev.
Absolutely. And, well, cricket and hopefully the future of Indian sport is motorsport. Indians love cricket. Now we hope Indians love motorsport.
I'm sure they do. The team at Mumbai Falcons absolutely flying the flag superbly for the nation from the subcontinent. And at the moment, Jehan, their driver, in position 3 as Bogdanovic goes very close to the back of Chauvet. And Guan Yu Zhou, incidentally, has just set a purple sector, rubbing salt into the wound here this afternoon. The gap almost 7 seconds. Nisani with a slight gap. Iwasa in the background.
Nisani's driving really well. He's not been making any mistakes at all.
Intelligent drive. He possibly doesn't have the fastest car of this group on our screen at the moment, but he's putting the 14 high-tech machine right in the middle of the circuit.
Yeah, exactly where he needs to be. Not so far in the middle, just keeping his car on the racing line, not giving Jehan the opportunity to even peek down the inside. But every now and again we see Jehan get close enough to him to give it a shot, but it's just not enough. It seems like it's not so easy to overtake in these cars. I'm sure these guys are missing a little bit of a DRS button.
Probably missing around about 30 horsepower. There is talk that the FIA will mandate an increase for the Formula Regional F3 category, so that will lift us up into in excess of 300 horsepower, whether we are running the Alto Technica tuned Alfa Romeo engine or the new Alpine engine, which has been used in the Renault Euro Cup for the past few seasons. Probably are lacking 30, even 40 horsepower. As Nisani locks up the brake, incidentally, Guan Yu Zhou goes under 136, a 135.922 for the race leader. As we get the last lap board. In fact, this is the last lap now, so Guan Yu Zhou from pole position will take a fantastic win here this afternoon. Roy Nisani looks as though he will hold on for second place but nobody will stop the pole sitter. The Alpine Formula One test driver started from pole position, has driven a flawless race. He takes the checkered flag to win race 1 of the Asian Formula 3 Championship for 2021 here at the Dubai Autodrome. The gap 7 seconds back to Roy Nisani, and Jehan Daruvala makes it Formula 2 drivers 1, 2 and 3. Chauvet just misses the podium, and Dynamite Dino, what a drive to come home in position 5. Aditya, we focused on the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, but out front Guan Yu Zhou, just brilliant, takes the opening victory of the 2021 championship.
Brilliant drive by Guan Yu Zhou. He showed us the experience that he's got. He is probably the most experienced driver on the grid. He's been driving Formula One cars recently, and he makes it look so easy in these cars. We've been watching his data over the weekend. Doesn't make any mistakes. So smooth, so clean. It's a pleasure to watch him actually. And then you've got him putting in the fastest lap on the second last lap. I mean, not many drivers can do that on the same set of tires from start to finish.
An absolutely flawless drive. So much support for Guan Yu Zhou back in his home nation, of course, comes from Shanghai in the People's Republic of China and takes the victory by 6.99 seconds over Roy Nisani, Jehan Daruvala. There is the order on the left of your screen. So a Chinese driver from an Israeli and an Indian finish 1, 2, 3 in the opening round of the Asian Formula 3 Championship for 2021 here at Dubai. Chauvet just misses the podium at the end of this 19-lap race. He will be disappointed with that, but will start on pole position for race 2 tomorrow morning, which of course you can also catch live right here. And Dino Bogdanovic, what a drive. Coming home to finish in position 5. Ayumu Iwasa in position 6. Chambolik Bashi, the young Turk from Istanbul, ahead of another young driver, Isaac Hadjar. Wow, the young Parisian P8. Patrick Pasma, 7th earlier on in the race, finishes in P9, and the American-born Japanese driver with the British licence, Rhys Ushijima, in car 13 for Team High-Tech, the final place in the top 10. Roberto Faria from, almost said Sao Paulo, from Rio in Brazil. Can we say it for one final time? The boy from Brazil finishes in P11. The Czech Roman Stanek, Deleda Flutza, Marinangeli, Amna, she was 16th ahead of Casper. Alexandre Bardignon, Irina Sidorkova, good drive from her on debut in Formula 3. As you look at Jehan come into pit lane, Matthias Luton, the German, and Kush Maini set fastest lap after fastest lap, but finishes down in 21st. After stopping for damage on the opening lap of the race, Rafa Villagomez, he also stopped, but did not rejoin the race. And his Black Arts Racing teammate, Zdenek Chovanec from Portugal, did not make the start. Roy, car 14, position 2, Jehan, car 19 in third place, but Guan Yuzhou, car 33, has taken the opening round of the Formula 3 Asian Championship here at Dubai. A virtual podium, Aditya, there is our race winner.
Virtual podiums are quite unique, aren't they? But all credit to Guan Yuzhou. My driver of the day has to be Dynamite Dino.
Getting there. Brilliant drive from Dino. As we look at the race winner, there is Guan Yuzhou on our screen. Takes the victory. 1, 2, 3. A Chinaman, an Indian, and from the Holy Land of Israel, from Tel Aviv no less, the newly announced DAMS Formula 2 driver for 2021.
That just defines Asian Formula 3, doesn't it?
Indeed, there's so much. We mentioned 18 different nations, a lot from Europe, from South America, from all around the world. But an Asian driver has won here. Do we still call the United Arab Emirates Asia? Just. This part of the world.
This part of the world. Well, it's Asian Formula 3 racing in the United Arab Emirates, so.
Yeah, and we are so delighted. We are so thankful to our hosts, the United Arab Emirates, hosting here Dubai Autodrome, and of course in a few days' time, just up the road at Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina Circuit. There is Jehan Daruvala from Mumbai for the Mumbai Falcons team. A well-deserved third place. We will try and catch a word with our drivers on the virtual podium in just a moment. Jehan in third, Roy in second, and Guan Yuzhou takes the opening victory in the Northern Hemisphere for the first major open-wheel motor race of 2021.
I have to tell you, Ian, I definitely had goosebumps at the start of the race. I could feel the nerves. Just watching those cars line up on the grid. It's been a long time since I actually watched a race, but are we going now? We're watching Jehan and Zhu on the screen. The two of them, Formula 2 drivers. Of course, I'm sure they've worked together in the past as well as teammates, working together now as well. Pretty much not exactly as teammates, but working together as well. Great friends on and off the track, the two of them.
There we go. As proven, as foretold, Guan Yuzhou has updated his race suit. The Renault is gone. The Alpine is now there in place. So Jehan in third. We're just waiting for Roy Nissany as well. A warm day here in Dubai. Would you believe it is winter in the United Arab Emirates and the temperature is around about 28 degrees Celsius? That's their winter. Come back here in 5 or 6 months and it will be north of 50 degrees Celsius. Roy Nissany from Tel Aviv. Great drive for the Team High-Tech pilot. But Guan Yuzhou will pick up position number 1, the top trophy here this afternoon. Incidentally, we will go to the Yas Marina circuit for the second and third rounds in a few days' time. And we will be back here at Dubai on the full Grand Prix circuit layout, which is in excess of 5 kilometres. We raced on the international circuit this afternoon, 4.3 kilometres. Yas Marina for rounds 2 and 3 in a few days' time. We're back tomorrow for races 2 and 3 of the first round of the series. In third place, Jehan Daruvala from Mumbai in India for the Team Mumbai Falcons car 19. Second place, Roy Nissany. And Guan Yuzhou takes the victory for the People's Republic of China. There is Roy in second place. Drove an intelligent race to finish in P2. Guan Yuzhou from China, a dominant display here this afternoon, wins race 1 of the 2021 Formula 3 Asian Championship.
first race. It was just an exemplary performance from start to finish. What was it like out there in the early part of the race to get away?
Yeah, the early part pretty much is quite tricky out there because obviously, you know, with everybody in the slipstream is working quite well, and yeah, I couldn't get away and was sliding around and got my rhythm, you know, just doing my laps, putting good lap times and controlling the race, and yeah, last few laps getting the fastest lap to ensure that we're pole for race 2 after our pretty messy qualify 2.
So I'm essentially guessing that race 2 tomorrow is referred to race 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same story again, so hopefully doing well, and I'm sure, you know, all the team is going to improve their cars, so there's a few things we have to improve is on my side and also on the setup, but yeah, we are looking good so far.
Fantastic performance, great win and a great way to start the season. Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's head over and talk to Roy. Roy,
Yeah.
pretty amazing start as well. I think Aditya Patel said he's one to watch off the line, and you managed to get into second place pretty much from the get-go. Tell us through the start.
Well, I think with the car, the start is very important, and I was focusing hard for it. We worked pretty hard to make it well, and it worked, luckily. Happy for that. We're going to keep working on it. It's a good get-go, as you say, and from there on, it's just managing the pace. It's not easy. The guys are pushing hard in front and in the back, but I think we made a good job. We deserve a trophy today, and we're looking forward for tomorrow.
Looking at Guan Yu's pace and how he was able to get away from the pack, just what are you guys going to need to find to get a little bit closer to him in race 2?
We're going to have to walk a bit, but no worries. We're going to catch him. We're going to pass him, and it's going to be interesting.
I'm loving the fighting talk. Thanks, Roy.
Thank you.
Let's grab a quick conversation as well with our man in third position, Jehan Daruvala. Not a bad way to start the season for the Mumbai Falcons team. Third position and a pretty solid race. Tell us how it was like in the early stages.
Yeah, I think I got a good start, but I got squeezed in the middle of two guys, but I still got it to third after turn 1. The first lap I had a bit of blocking to do, and yeah, after that, yeah, it was a bit frustrating because I was a lot quicker than Roy, but there's like zero slipstream, so it's like almost impossible to overtake. So yeah, I think for tomorrow the plan will be to have another good start and be back here on the podium.
The overall setup of the car looks quite solid, particularly in the middle part of the race when you're able to hustle Roy a little bit more. What are you going to have to work on to have that sort of pace at the beginning of the race tomorrow?
Yeah, you know, I wasn't quite sure how the deck was going to be, so I probably can go a bit harder on at the start, and yeah, maybe without the slipstream, try a few dive bombs and try to see if they work.
Cheers, Jehan. Looking forward to race 2 tomorrow.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The podium for the opening round of the 2021 season. Guan Yu Zhou, Roy Nissany and Jehan Daruvala from China, Israel and India respectively. They finish 1, 2, 3. So the racing year is underway here in the magnificent United Arab Emirates. Aditya Patel, we have got a start to the season.
We have indeed got a start to the season, maybe behind New Zealand and Australia, but we have got a start to the season, to the Asian Formula 3 season. We've only done we've only done one race, and at the end of this weekend it'll be 3 races down and 12 more races to go after that, and all back-to-back in 4 weeks. So it's non-stop action here down at Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
It is a fabulous place to race. We hope you've enjoyed the opening round of the 2021 Asian Formula 3 Championship. On behalf of myself, Ian Silvestrin and Aditya Patel, thanks for your company. We'll see you tomorrow, 10:30 local time here in the Emirates. Race 2, the Formula 3 Asian Championship here at Dubai. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yes, it's me. And no, it's not critical. But it's the same energy. It's not between the runs, but the laps. It's not between two teams, but many to come. It's not just between the players, but also their machines. Sweat, not in the jerseys, but in their gears. It's about the race this time. Show up to cheer for Mumbai.
Mumbai Falcons at the Asian F3 Championship UAE.